if approved by this House,
Yes.
and if appointed and sworn in to serve in the capacity of the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, 100 days.
We will hold you to that if you get there.
Yes. May I answer something about the Advocates Complaints Commission?
Yes.
The Advocates Complaints Commission is also under the Office of the Attorney General, but the Disciplinary Tribunal is not under the Attorney General. There is a need for the Office of the Attorney General to review the capacity, the structure of the Advocates Complaints Commission, because they only have one panel that is sitting now. If approved for this post, I would also think that there is a need for us to sieve the cases that go through the Complaints Commission so that the very trivial ones do not clog the system. We only deal with the more complex ones. But otherwise, there's a need to take an audit and come up with good resolutions on how we can structure the department. Thank you.
All the questions answered? Okay, so we can now move. Your question, which one?
Questions.
By Honorable Mokami, I think it was about the mothers and vulnerable people who are in prison. Is it?
And the fight against corruption. Yeah, in the economic crime.
Do you remember it, Nominee, or do you want her to repeat?
Yes, I do remember.
Okay.
Yes. About the mothers, the young people, and the children who are in custody, they are clients of the Director of Public Prosecutions, but the Director of the Public Prosecutions is using the tools that are available to him. So issues of expediting hearing of cases, issues of making pretrial detention shorter, legal representation, are not within the purview of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. And that is the reason why, as the Attorney General, this is an area that I'm passionate about. I am going to do all it takes to come back to this Parliament to persuade you that we need to relook at our criminal justice laws. I do not think, from the heart that I wear, that we are achieving the purposes of punishment, being retribution, rehabilitation, and restoration. Is the prosecution the weakest link in the fight against corruption? I was asked. The criminal justice system acts as a chain, and each one of us has a role to play. I know that the sector has been suffering from capacity, budgetary allocation, sometimes inadequate or insufficient investigations. If approved as the Attorney General, I will bring in other tools to help in the fight against corruption. One, we would strengthen the operationalization of Chapter 6 of the Constitution by clarifying what government agencies can do. We will use the forums that we have, like the NCAJ, where the Attorney General sits, to review the process of hearing of corruption cases. It has to be shortened, and I'm happy to report that as a prosecutor, I know the President has recommended shortening of the time that corruption cases should be heard. There is also a need for us to use a tool called asset forfeiture and confiscation so that we take out the profits from the accused persons. If that tool was used, we'll make crime to be less attractive to the accused persons. We will also try to share resources and enhance the capacity of the officers. So each of the criminal justice sector agencies is suffering from something, but if we work together collaboratively, supported by this House, we'll be able to put in mechanisms to deal with corruption. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mishi, Honorable Rasso, and Honorable Mule in that order.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, before my question, I also want to add what our nominee has just said, that it is one of the areas where if approved, she's going to put some reforms on the issue of presidential